Embrace simple truths. There's only two genders. And boys should go to boys' rooms. Girls should go to girls' restrooms. And guess what? Teachers shouldn't be forced to use your freaking made-up fantasy pronouns. Fight like hell. Hold the line against the LGBT mafia and their dang pedo fans.
I was at home listening with, wireless AirPods in my ears to a school board meeting in Grapevine, Texas.
We're going to call the special meeting for August 22nd, 2022 to order.
There was a big controversial plan that the school board was getting ready to consider that would ban lessons on gender or, and restrict what restrooms trans kids could use. Hundreds of speakers were coming forward.
We cannot have teachers such as these in our schools because they are just poison and they're taking our schools down.
A mom stepped forward and she said,
"My name is Charla."
And she told a story about teachers in this school district convincing her child to change genders.
The doctrine of gender fluidity brings disorder, chaos, anarchy, and confusion into our schools and classrooms.
I'm laying there in the dark listening, and she said,
I lost my son.
What the hell happened here? This story she's telling is the exact story we've been hearing politicians like Ron DeSantis telling out at events, saying the teachers are convincing kids to change genders.
It is wrong to have gender ideology imposed in our schools.
No evidence to ever kind of prove that that was happening, but here was a mom saying it happened to her kid. That night or the next day, I texted Antonia and was like, I think we can pitch another podcast.
It was a no-brainer to me. We saw funders, organizers, church leaders getting involved, and that was much more focused on LGBTQ children.
We are the only country with a dream. It's not the French dream. It's not the Russian dream. There's only the American dream.
We knew that Grapevine was the next place to go.
Here's a transgender 17-year-old kid who went to school and felt free to identify as herself there. Let's ask her, did that happen? Did the teacher convince you to change genders?
We knew that in order to make this new moment make sense for the country, we could take this family's case and really dig into what happened here. Step
one was actually getting with the student Ren and her father Rich and spending 3 days with them in Portland.
It was about, I want to say about 18 months after that she came out, demonstrably, where she said, Dad, I have something to tell you.
It's such a sensitive story, so it took a little time of just being present and letting them get comfortable with us.
You can't just go knock on someone's door and expect them to open up about the most traumatic experiences that they've been through. You're going to have to build trust with that family. You're going to have to be really transparent with them about how all of this works. I need to come to your house numerous times. I'm going to have a microphone in front of you for maybe 8 hours straight. And we're gonna talk about your life from the beginning to now. And we're gonna laugh and we're probably gonna cry.
My job is to show up and be ready for whatever the environment sounds like, and then listen. You're listening partly for is the fridge on? Can I hear the fridge? Can I turn off the air conditioner?
Franny's a reporting partner on this project. She's someone who we discuss the reporting with.
Franny is right there with us, usually on the floor holding somebody's pet to make sure that the pet doesn't jump in the way and mess up one of the microphones. How are we gonna make this scene sound the best? The sound of frogs or fountains running or cars whizzing by or people shopping.
We're at board meetings, we're at the Texas legislature, we're out on election day.
And then you get back in the car and it's somebody's hungry, somebody's gotta pee, somebody's I need batteries.
Mike and I share the reporting load. 9 times out of 10, we are sitting next to each other together for every single interview.
It's a true reporting partnership.
We push each other in the field, we question each other's decisions. We're constantly going back and forth in scripts and tweaking things for each other.
We spend a lot of time together. You're constantly in a rental car at a hotel that you may or may not like.
The most challenging part of producing a podcast like this is taking the material, just the hours and hours of material that you've gathered in the field and through archives and just sifting through it all. You have a fire hose of material and you have to figure out which bits to pull out to tell the story.
Mike sees the podcast from the beginning. He knows where we're going emotionally. He knows where he wants to bring in the larger context. And he knows how to fill 6 episodes.
I recorded or tracked these podcasts in a closet. It involved 2 IKEA twin mattresses leaned up against each other, a bunch of pillows shoved in there, and down comforters.
You're in the booth sometimes for 6 hours straight. I lost my voice a couple different times in the process of making these podcasts.
From NBC News Studios, this is Grapevine, a new 6-part series about faith and power and what it means to protect children.
People think about journalism as this personal, individual, sort of lone wolf type sport. It's a team sport.
We each bring different life experiences and different skills to the reporting and storytelling process.
I know what it is like to be a Black student in a school and feel lonely.
I'm a white guy who grew up in a really small white town in the Midwest. We were able to see different elements of the story in a way and also see each other's blind spots in a way.
You make podcasts because you don't have to have cameras. And I think it drastically changes the quality of the interview that you get, the intimacy of the bond that you build with the sources.
You're able to get into someone's mind, really. When you're gonna make a podcast, if you feel like the story's interesting enough that you would tell your friends or family about it, those are the ones you should be looking for to tell.
Listen to a lot of podcasts. What kinds of stories do you listen to and you find you're addicted and you can't wait to cue the next episode up? Sitting down and getting to know people I would have never met before. That's the best part of the job. Easy. I love interviews where I'm getting to know someone and their life story deeply. Like it's the soul and the point of doing what we do, and so the actual time spent with people is what's most rewarding to me.